Welcome to my channel, The Vibepreneur, where we build AI automations and we do vibe coding to build apps and AI agents. So today we are going to start with our Moonlighting session, which is about vibe coding and building apps. We build micro-saas apps, we build Flutter mobile apps. We have been already building a Flutter mobile app for travel planning, and that is what we are going to continue today. So before I start sharing my screen, I have a request. If you have any questions, doubts, thoughts, share while you are watching this live stream, right? I suggest you follow it. You do the same thing that I'm doing here on my desktop. You also practice the same thing, because believe me or not, just by watching what I'm doing and following it, not just watching, but also following it, you'll be miles ahead of many others who are just watching it or not even watching it and missing out completely. Okay, so promise me that while you're watching it, you will also follow it. And if you have any doubt, if you have any question, if you get stuck anywhere, you can use our chat and ask me question. And there's going to be a dedicated Q&A session where I'm going to answer all the questions within this chat. But meanwhile, I'll also pick randomly some chats in between. Okay, so I hope you understood the format, and I'm gonna start today's Moonlighting session for vibe coding. Okay, let's go. All right. So this is my workspace. This is my workspace for the Flutter app, and it is as it is how I left it after my last stream. Okay, so the very first thing I'm gonna do is launch my Android emulator. So that is gonna help me test my app. And as soon as I launched my emulator, because it has got closed while at this screen of the app. Okay, so first you saw the snapshot of the same window, which was my app window, but it ultimately it got reset and the app is gone now, which is fine, right? So we are going to launch our app using Flutter run. Okay, so we can just do Flutter run and it should launch our app. So let's wait for the Flutter run to complete and let's see how our app looks after the launch. Okay, so this is how our app looks currently. This is a travel planning app. It requires a source and a destination, and it has a button to generate itinerary. So we're going to enter a source and a destination here. Okay, so let's enter some source like New Delhi to Bengaluru. Okay, so we have entered two places. So we are planning a trip. We are starting from New Delhi and we may end it at Bengaluru. Okay, so we're gonna click on generate itinerary, and we have got this travel plan for our trip, right? It's starting from New Delhi, ending to Bengaluru. So that's how it looks. We start from New Delhi. We will visit India Gate, then Red Fort, then directly Lal Bagh Botanical Garden and end the trip. So yes, functionality wise, this itinerary is not very attractive, right? But we are going to work on that. Not today. We're going to improve this itinerary generation engine. By the way, in my previous stream, I had worked only on itinerary generation engine, and it has improved quite a bit. So if you want to see entire process of how we worked on itinerary generation engine, you can watch my previous stream. Okay, but today my plan is to just work on the UI, right? Because for me personally, I don't know about you, but for me personally, working on mobile apps, both Android or iOS, is only fun when they look nice, right? Mobile apps have to look very, very beautiful. They have to look modern. They have to look very, very pleasant to and should have some animations, and like it should not be like very overblown with a lot of colors and things, right? But it should have some subtlety, look simple but look decent, right? Modern apps. Okay, so that is what we are planning to make the UI enhancements in our app for today. Okay. And I use Cline for my vibe coding, right? So Cline is a VS Code extension that you can install in your own Visual Studio Code. And within Cline, I'm connected to my Gemini 2.5 Pro model, right? Using Gemini API, right? Google's Gemini API, I'm connected to its Gemini 2.5 Pro LLM model for helping me with vibe coding. And starting with in Cline, I'll always start my session in plan mode. Okay, so what I'm going to do in the plan mode is, the very first thing is in my app. So this is basically the directory of my app, right? This is how the app directory looks. So this is my app folder, right? Which contains the code for my mobile app, my Flutter app, right? But outside of it, I have of course a Visual Studio Code workspace file and also a develop MD file, which is what you're seeing it open here, right? So this file actually helps me, planning my development, keeping track of it, right? And also when I move from session to session within my client agent, right? So like in my earlier vibe coding session, I was using a different client session. Today I'm launching a different client session. So how does Gemini gets aware about the progress we have made in our app so far, right? That is with this develop.md file, okay? Because it also keeps track of the status of our milestones, right? Okay, so I'm gonna give it a very, very simple prompt, and it's gonna be in a very simple human to human language, right? Not any code specific or very technical detailed prompt. It will be like a very simple, how a sort of a project owner will talk to its developer, right? That kind of a prompt I'm going to give to Cline here. Okay. So this prompt is like a litmus test. Okay, why it's a litmus test? So let me quickly talk about a little bit about a litmus test. So in our chemical reaction, if you want to identify between an acidic compound, a basic compound or an alkaline compound, so we have something called litmus paper, which changes its color, and it tells us that okay, what is acidic, what is things like that, right? So that is from chemistry. But when based on the output of this prompt, I can identify how much Gemini has understood about the project and its current status. Okay, so that's why I call this prompt as a litmus test. Now, since it is in plan mode, I don't expect it to start writing or editing any files, and it's gonna just give me its output in a text conversation format, right? So that's what it is giving now. And let me quickly read through it. I'm not gonna read each word. I'm just gonna skim through it and see if we are on the same page. Okay, so let me quickly do that. The project is a Flutter travel itinerary app. Its main purpose is to automatically generate a travel itinerary for a user based on a specific source and destination, right? Leverages Firebase, correct. The project is currently at itinerary generation, which is marked in progress. The function is intended to integrate the external. Okay. Right. So here it is a bit behind in the current status. Okay. Actually, our itinerary generation engine is completed and it is working along with a basic timeline visualization. So I'm gonna give it that update. Okay. Somehow in our previous session, this develop plan did not got updated, but thankfully I remember where did we left off, so I can update Gemini with that status. Okay. Okay, so this is I'm giving it the status update as well as I'm telling it what is my plan of working today. Okay, so actually we have made some progress and our itinerary generation engine is working with basic timeline visualization, so please update that. However, for today I have planned to work only with UI, let's say only on UI, and improve the UI for both home and itinerary screen. Okay, so that is my today's plan, right? So let me send this, and it's gonna of course reply to that. It's gonna tell okay, I will update it, but then it's going to ask me switch me into the act mode, because in this plan mode I cannot edit any file, right? So that is when we are going to switch it into the act mode. Okay, I also observed my Q&A timing is not running that counter, so let me quickly fix my Q&A counter. Okay, just let me, shouldn't take much long. Okay, save, and yeah, so that is the time of our Q&A. That is the time. In next 44 minutes we're going to have a dedicated Q&A. So if you have any questions, doubts, thoughts, right, you can just put it over the chat, and you know, we'll have the discussion after this Q&A timer runs out. Okay, right. So as I expected, see, it says if the plan looks good to you, please toggle to act mode, right? It is asking me to toggle to act mode, but let me quickly see the plan. Okay, so got it. Thanks for the update on the progress. I've noted that itinerary generation is now functional and includes basic timeline visualization. To update the develop memory file with this new information, it need to be in act mode. Good, UI improvement plan. So now it is also giving me a plan to improve the UI further, right? So modernize the layout, wrap the input fields and button in a card widget to create a visual distinct clean input area, add a subtle background gradient, add leading icons, improve the generate itinerary button, itinerary screen. Okay, so it has given me a plan, but regarding the UI of this app, I already have something in my mind. So I'm going to share that with it. Some kind of a visualization, a rough visualization I have. So I like its approach, adding cards and so on, but I have something a bit unique. So I'm going to tell it that so that it will implement the home UI in that way. Okay, so So now I'm going to tell it my UI plan for the home screen, and I'm going to give it some bullet points. Okay, so I have like some ideas, some loose thoughts, right? Which I'm gonna just list out in a bullet point. It's not necessarily in the same order, or it has to be like a very integrated thing, right? These are just my visions, sort of, right? About this app. Okay. So there are two places or two location selection in our home, right? A source and a destination. And whenever we are letting users select these or enter the values here, we have to make sure first user selects a source, and then user should select a destination. I mean, we would not want in the reverse order, right? We would not want user to first select the destination and then select the source, because it sort of changes the meaning of that thing, right? So somehow we have to make sure that that is enforced, right? So that is what I have mentioned in these bullet points. Okay, so what I'm thinking to do it in a way is that I want a source that should be like a map with a search field, and it should ideally support autocomplete also. So when somebody enters a location, they will get the autocomplete feature to select the location with the same spelling, and after that they select, so the map will get updated with that location, and then on top of that, in another layer, we'll get another map with the search option to select the destination. So we'll have like a layer of source map and a layer of destination map lying on top of each other, right? So that's what I'm trying to convey it using my layman English. Okay. Do you have two overlapping layers of maps with the search field will automatically, if possible? Is date its center point to display that location. Source must be selected first, and only then the destination layer should be revealed. Okay, so first the source has to be selected, and once the source is selected, like we confirm there is a location selected for the source, and only then the destination has to be revealed, right? These two overlapping maps need to be looking like a file cabinet. So I'm thinking like how do I tell it what exactly I'm thinking. These two overlapping maps need to be looking like a, so basically we have that file drawer, right, file cabinet, within which we'll have file folders, and they will be slanted and you know overlapping. Need to be looking like a file cabinet with files files in it. I don't, so let's see, let's hope that it is trying to, so this is one important thing which is very important when we are doing vibe coding, or we are doing any kind of prompt engineering for LLMs, right? We need to be very clear in terms of what we want to tell LLM, right? Because you may say something else and LLM may interpret that as something completely different. So the output that will come, you might not get what you're hoping for, right? So that way you would be feeling disappointed that, you know, I wanted LLM to do this. Instead, it has done something else. Mostly that is, you know, what we say lost in translation kind of a thing, where you are trying to translate your thoughts and while telling LLM, and you are not able to tell it clearly enough. Okay, so these are my thoughts for just home screen. So I'm gonna mention that these are loose ideas for home screen UI plan before starting the UI update. Please create another file, call it ui.md, and add our plans there. And and so now I'm ready to switch it to act mode, because I wanted to create this ui.md file, where first thing is it need to document this home screen plan which I've just shared with it, right? So that, because these are like thoughts that can, you know, like disappear, so I would not be able to recollect them at later points. It's better to write them down in a file. Okay, so that's what I'm asking it. So it should create that ui.md file and write these thoughts about the design idea for the home screen. Okay, so this is generated core concepts. Let me save this file once and let me see the preview of it. This is talking about lines of design and implementation strategy. Okay, it's updating the developer, I think. Okay, so it has already started updating the developer MD as well. Okay, let it do its thing. Okay. I wanted to read that UIMD plan file, but it's more eager and excited to, I think, start working on it. So I'll just let it go with it. Let's hear two overlapping. Okay. ठीक है. This is my Flutter app. This. And it's asking me to run this pub-get command. So I'm gonna close this Cline and let it run this command. And I want to run the command from its own command interface. That way it will capture the output and it will know what is going on. updated the home screen dart file. Now I need to ask user to provide Google Maps API key. I have updated the home screen with the new UI. To make it work, I need a Google Maps API key. Please provide the key and I'll add it to the code. You can get a key from Google Cloud Console. So I already have Google Maps API key, which I used earlier for my function. So I'm just going to use that one here. Although I will tell it, can you move this API key to an env file, right? So we don't want this our API key to be available inside the code, right? It should be ideally inside an env file. So that way, if we check in our code in some Git repository or somewhere, we would not leak out these API keys or something, right? Which could be a huge security risk. By the way, Google Maps API is not that, I mean, of course. So for all of you who is watching, I will change this API key. Okay, I'll rotate this API key just after this session. So that API key will not work for you. I'm sorry, I cannot reveal my API key, but I had to in this case because we're gonna test this app live. Okay. Anyways, so there is some error related to, I think, Gemini API. Sometimes it fails because I can assume there is a lot of load on their servers because almost everyone on this world is vibe coding right now. So yeah. Okay. Let it run its command again, and it did succeed. Oh. Right. And again, API has started giving some issues. Is it rate limiting issue? I don't know. It's very difficult to tell like this. But what we can do is retry. So let's just retry. That's a good thing. It is adding a lot of things inside including this .env file in the git ignore. So it's a good thing that AI maintains this git ignores, where we have to ignore a bunch of files that may not be so mandatory. Okay, I have updated git ignore file. Now I will ask user to add the API key to the env file. So I have actually added the API key already. So I will just mention that I have added the API key to the env file. Okay. So it went into the itinerary. No, you were not supposed to do that. Okay, I have the content for, I'll now update the UI of this screen. Okay, there is no harm. It's already jumping ahead for the itinerary screen, although I did not wanted it to do it yet, but it's okay. For now, let me see what it's trying to make the UI changes, and anytime I can always give it the feedback and change it as per how I want it to look. Okay, and it says it has done these UI enhancements. So let's try that. I'm gonna do Flutter run. and I hope to see the updated UI of my app. By the way, I did not want it to run in the Cline terminal, so let me do that. Let me cross this and close this terminal and run. And here I have my simulator running, and here is the Flutter app. And again, guys, just to remind you, in next 26 minutes, we are going to have a dedicated Q&A. If you have any question, doubt, thoughts, whatever, you can put it in the chat, and I'll try to respond to it after this Q&A counter will run off. And we are actually watching our app build, so we have to wait till this Android app gets built, and our emulator will launch the updated Android updated app, so we can test the new UI in the emulator here. So meanwhile, while the app is building, again, let me mention if you have any questions, thoughts. Okay, so there is an issue. Let me first resolve this. What went wrong? Apollo occurred, Google API headers. Package references, but it does not provide any inline implementation. macOS, Linux, iOS, Windows, macOS. Okay, let's do one thing. I will delete these directories of the apps. Those are not implemented yet, because I think that's causing some issue here. So I'm gonna just keep the Android and remove the iOS. Oh wait, just I don't want to delete it and get in some trouble later, so it's better we'll ask Gemini to that what we should do to remove these. But actually, you know, that was a warning. That's not an error, that's just a warning. So we can ignore that warning for now. Let's fix the main error. A problem occurred configuring project. Google API headers could not create instance of type build variant. Namespace not specified. Okay, so all I'm gonna do is just take this entire thing and paste it into the Gemini chat, so it will know what the error message that we have received, and it can act accordingly. And now we have to be very careful that it should not get into some debug loop where it fixes the problem, it creates the issue, it fixes the issue again, it creates another problem, and so on. Especially the user is encountering a build failure related to Google API headers package. There's no issue with older version of some Flutter packages when used with newer Flutter Android television. The package is a dependency of another Flutter package. Update the problematic package. Override the dependency. Manually patch the build file. Okay. So let's see if these things will work out. In some cases, sometimes it sort of gets in a loop where it is not able to fix after repeated time. At that point in time, we should come out of the AI loop, and we should try to solve the issue by ourselves. Has been overridden. Now it will ask you to try the build app again. Okay, so let's do that. So it is telling it has updated the dependency, and also we have run the pub get command for Flutter. So we hope that dependency issue has been resolved now. Again, to remind, if you have any questions, thoughts, you can drop it over the chat. In next 20 minutes, we have our dedicated Q&A where I can pick the questions and answer those. And I cannot fast forward or skip this build process because it's a live stream, so everything is happening live here. But if you're watching the recording later on, you can definitely move past this build process, and so you don't have to wait for it, but I have to do it. Okay, great. So our app is built, which is good, and we have got a crash. API key not found. Okay, so let me share this error with, again, Gemini, and let me ask what's this error and how to solve it. After the app got built successfully while running it, I got this error. Fix it. It says I have the content for, I'll now add the metadata inside. I'll use a placeholder to insert the user to replace it. Okay, replace this with the actual Google API key, no problem. So let's replace, oh, not this, that there was an env file here. Okay, so we have updated. Let me tell it. so that it can give us further instructions. Most likely it will ask us to again build and run the app. That's what it is doing. So let's do that now. Okay, that's fine. Let me enter a location now, this time, like New York, and it is doing a lot of loading. Let's see, null check operator used on a null value. I think there is some issue. If I enter, no, enter not open as well. Okay, let's come out of this and where is that null exception? This one. Yeah, autocomplete search. Okay. So after I enter a place value inside the location input, I'm getting this error. Okay, so again, I'm trying to use Google Gemini to resolve this autocomplete error also, which we just faced now. And just added a condition if Google API key is equals to null. But I don't see why that should be a problem. That should not be the correct solution, because if it's not able to find the Google API key, then our app will not work. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's rerun the app. And let me enter a new location again. I still get that. Yes, that is still coming. And I have a doubt that we have to resolve this error by ourselves, because there could be some important detail which Gemini is missing, and it will not be able to resolve it on its own. So it has started printing the API key and things. Okay. And okay, did I see the problem? That it did not did await dot env dot load. I think this is the problem. So let me do one thing, and let me share the usage with according to the usage docs for the .env package, it should be used as below. Right. However, I did not see you calling away dot env dot load anywhere. Okay, so I think I identified the issue, and so I'm trying to mention that that this await dot env dot load has not been called. So according to the usage, that is needed. Okay, we just call it over now here. Right. Now it seems to be passing it as a parameter. Okay, so the app is built. Let's try running it again, and we hope this maps API key issue is resolved now. And while we will be searching for any location in our app, we should be able to get that location. Yeah, API key is there. Authorization failure. Map SDK for Android. Okay, so that is also one thing, right? So we are missing the map SDK for Android is not enabled. Let's quickly do that. For that, we have to go to our Google Cloud Console. And we have to find the Maps Android SDK API. Enable API and services. This Map SDK for Android. And we just have to enable it. Once we do that, we will once check if our credential supports this Map SDK for Android, basically, which is the key that we have used there. So within this, yes, so it has map. Okay. Right. With this change, let me close it and rebuild the app, because we have just enabled the map SDK for Android, and I hope after the reactivation, and there we go. So we do get the map appearing now, which is a good sign. Now we can try for a location. Let's say New York. Did we got any error again? Yes. So this error is something different things. Unhandled exception, I'll check. I don't see any other error appearing. Only this null exception. It says autocomplete.t search. So where has it used this places autocomplete.t search? Which file is it searching for? This one. It is using places autocomplete.show. Okay. So I'm gonna again tell it to fix this error, because it knows better what might be causing this error. So I've also mentioned that after some changes, the map has started appearing, which was earlier not appearing. So that is good. Okay. So I think I got some hint about the error, which is related to this places autocomplete method, which is used here. And maybe I have to read its documentation and do the fix myself. Or maybe I can take help from ChatGPT also. That is also a viable solution. And still we are getting the same, right? Yeah. So definitely it has something to do with this places autocomplete method, that Gemini does not know its proper arguments. So for that, Places autocomplete. Place autocomplete. But it says places autocomplete. Where is that? This place autocomplete. Okay, by the way, since we are in Flutter, I think I have to look for the Flutter now. Flutter Google Microsoft dot. Google Maps. Flutter place autocomplete. Google Places autocomplete text field. No, where would it be file? The package is Google Places Flutter, that I know because this is Flutter Google Places. It's a different one. So what are the package names? Yeah, Flutter Google Places. So I'm just trying to read the documentation and identify if I can figure out what's the places autocomplete dot show. Okay, so we have context. We have context, we have API key, we have mode, we have language, and we have components. So yeah, the dot overlay is fine. Is there a problem with component? Okay, so for now, what we'll do is we'll remove this autocomplete package. Okay, for now, remove this autocomplete feature as it is causing issues. We will come back to it later. Okay. So by the way, my Q&A timer has run out, and unfortunately, I don't have any questions to answer today. So I'll not answer any question, then I'll just keep on continuing with my vibe coding session. But I do recommend, if you have any questions, thoughts, any doubts, anything that you want to discuss, you can use chat and you can ask me. So I'll try to answer that. It says I've removed the problematic autocomplete feature and stabilized the application. Okay. Yeah. So we don't have autocomplete, so let's just enter a location and see what do we get. Like if we enter, okay, and Newark. If I enter it, what's happening? Okay. Since autocomplete has been removed, we need another way to accept the input from the user to the location inputs. Right, so basically what happened, since we have removed the autocomplete, so right now when we enter any name here, location name, there is no way to sort of enter it within the system, right? So we need to change that. Now we need a way to add these. Say instead of autocomplete, the app now displays a list of search results after you enter location, press enter. You can then select the correct location from the list, which provides. I don't see anything. It says if I press enter, it's gonna show some locations, so it's not happening. Press enter. Where is the enter? Is this enter? Or shall I press this? Let's add a button. Let's add a button or a pressable icon after the input. Let's say near the input for accepting the applications. So let me again rerun the app. Yeah. Oh, but these two icons. I'll ask you to remove this search bar later anyway, so fine. And okay, I press search, but nothing was happening. Right, so that is another problem which we need to get fixed. I have following feedbacks. Number one, there are two search icons in the input now. One is before the text input and another after. I suggest remove the first one. So the one before, we don't want it because it's not solving any purpose, so we'll just remove it. And the second option is after pressing the search icon, it is not doing anything. Okay, so these are the two feedbacks which I gave. So by the way, that is how vibe coding works. So LLM will produce some code changes, it will make some changes, your app will get updated, and then you have to review your app, you have to check your app, you have to test its functionality if it is working as per your expectation. If it is not, then you have to give the feedback and ask a model to change, make the changes again accordingly. And I guess I have to every time close the app. Okay, so it did that. It removed the first search icon, which was not doing anything anyways, which is a good thing. If I click the search, let me see the code. This seems to be one input, text field, and on press, if API key is empty, then it's gonna show this message. Otherwise, it's gonna find search by text and load the results. So let's add some logs. Let's add a log for this controller.text to see what is the value of controller.text. Okay. I got this nice input here. Searching for controller.text, great. And state for source is gonna set this value, otherwise the definition is gonna set this. So can we print result also? Okay, that's fine. Length should be okay. That how many results we got is also okay. That's fine. So I added just some print statements to debug that whatever I'm entering, is it capturing that? Because this is the method which gets triggered, and ideally that way we will be also able to verify that the same method is getting triggered when we press that search icon. Searching for New York, search result 0. Why is that? Places search by text, right? Again, I think there is something wrong with how we use this thing, right? So again, which package is this one? Google Maps Web Services. Google Maps Web Service. Okay. Now let's find the documentation for Google Maps Web Service package. Google Maps Flutter Web. I don't think that's the package. Google Maps Web Service. What is this package? Google Maps Web Service. Should be somewhere. Yeah. Oh, it's quite old. Search text. Search by text. But my doubt is it's quite old, so it might not work. It's like was published 4 years ago. The version, yeah, so this version was published 4 years ago, and I cannot rely on this package. So this is one problem I have seen while vibe coding on Flutter apps, is that the Gemini seems to pick the packages which are like either not the latest packages or not. So there is some problem with the selection of the packages. So I think the people who do regular Flutter development, those who build Flutter apps regularly, they are much aware of what are the latest packages to use. For example, in our case, for the maps, for the Google Maps, which is the best package to use to show the map within our UI and so on, right? So the ones who would be doing vibe coding, who have not been building Flutter apps, right? They will struggle with this thing to identify the correct package to use. So what do we do now? We've got a code lab. Let's see this code lab. Flutter Google Maps with search. Okay. So we got this documentation. Let's see if we can utilize this one. So they're using So they suggest to use Flutter map package, and is that any better package? Documentation. Well, it seems quite versatile. It has a lot of features, but does it has the search? And they also support a lot of multiple map providers, which may or may not be something we are looking for. We don't bother about any other map providers. We right now just need the Google Maps to work. So that's it. Just open. The same one we are just coming around and okay, let's ask Gemini to use this package and see if it knows about it. I think the map package you have selected to use is not supported well. Can you change it to more supported one? That is also having recent updates. Okay, so basically I'm giving it another feedback that the map package you had decided to take. By the way, so this is vibe coding, and sometimes during the vibe coding I do get into the trap that I start becoming a developer and I start trying to sort of getting into that mode of coding and start adding my own code pieces, and that is what I want to strictly avoid, because then it's not a vibe coding any longer. Then the steering wheel sort of is not in the hands of AI. Instead we are taking it. I mean, sometimes it's fine, especially to debug, to identify where the issue is and so on, but for the most part in a vibe coding, the idea is the AI should be taking the steering wheel in its own hands, and it should be steering where the app would go, how it would look, how it would behave, right? Instead of I sort of started adding my own code. I don't generally consider that as a good vibe coding practice. Okay, so just to be clear, we are not actually building an app for the sake of building the app. We are actually doing vibe coding, right? So we need to follow whatever the process is religiously. Okay, so the thing is, yes, I did do some discovery. I did found that there are some good Flutter packages to be used, but then I want that choice to be in completely Gemini's hands, that it should decide what packages it want to use, and how it want to implement it. I don't want to get in and start coding, because then it's not a vibe coding anymore. Anyway, so I think it has done its task, and ran the Flutter web get also. So I'll just run the app again, and we'll test how the app looks, or rather behave. So app has got the map integrated now. We can see the map appearing, but the problem is we are not able to search for the location within that map, and that is what we are trying to fix. So let's see once our app gets launched, and let's try to enter our location here. And if I click press, actually we are getting some error. Okay, so we have got this error, and I'm just going to take this error and share it with the Gemini. Okay, and it has made some changes to it, which is again the changes are by Gemini, right? I have not done any changes. I have just asked it, this is the error, and you take care of it however way you want to solve it. So that's the way of vibe coding, and so we are hoping that that issue will be solved, and we'll see how the app will look. Okay, great. So finally we have got our location selection working, right? So okay, let's try with other location. Let's try a bunch of more, like yeah, so we can enter any location now, which is a good thing. So Paris, great, right? Okay, so let's go back to London, and we'll click on London. Okay, so our map has actually got updated to show the London as its center point, and now we are seeing to select the destination. And there is one problem I can notice in this behavior, is that the source which is selected needs to appear somewhere that this source has been selected, right? Which is not appearing. But let me keep on moving with the same flow of this whatever AI has created for us, right? It's a vibe coding. So now destination from London to, let's say, Paris. And again, click on search. Click search. So basically our same map is getting, like, sometimes going to London, sometimes going to Paris. It's not a very good user experience, and not that I was expecting. So anyways, so let's click on generate itinerary button, because I know AI has also updated the itinerary UI a little bit, and let's see what we can get there. Okay, so it is completely, I mean, yeah, it's a bit but no, it's same as how it was earlier, right? I mean, the UI has indeed changed a bit, like it has added the cards, but it is in no way looking any good or attractive how how I would hope it to be. So first thing I see a problem is, once we select the source destination, that destination is not anywhere to be selected, right? Instead, my idea was that the source, the selected location, will stay and will sort of go behind, right? Will be in a layer behind, and destination layer will sort of slide up, right? So that is my idea. and that's what I'm asking AI to do now. I see the map selection, location selection is working now, but I need, okay, but I have following feedbacks. Okay, number one, after the source is selected, we are not seeing the selected source location anywhere while selecting the destination. Okay, so my idea was such that the source location map layer should move in the background, and the destination selection map layer must slide from bottom but leave just a small portion of source location map layer visible with the source location name. Okay, so this is the idea. The once source is selected, it should sort of move behind, and from bottom the destination map layer should like slide up. Did I say layer must slide from bottom? Okay, while overlapping it. So again, the entire thing is how well we are able to convey our thoughts, the visual representation, what we have in our mind to the LLM, and we hope that we are able to do it well, so that the output that we get is somewhat what we are expecting from it. And if it is not, then there is no problem. We can always give it a feedback, and it would do the changes accordingly. And at this point, I also realize I'm having this anxiety that I may lose my changes, because I see the app has started taking up some shape now. So if so I need to plan my Git strategy now. I need to commit my code. I need to start creating branches, because if something gets messed up big time, then we're gonna be in huge trouble. So it is still not picking up what I'm trying to tell it. I think I need to take help of some visualization, like some okay, but this is better, that at least the source that I have selected this time is at least visible somewhere, and which is fine. And of course, if I click on generate itinerary, it's gonna show us the same travel plan in the same travel plan UI, which is already there. So at this one, I still want to improve more. So what it is not able to get it. So now I'm going to take help of some sort of a doodling. Okay, so I hope my iPad is alive. Okay. Let me take help from some doodling. It's freeform. So I'm gonna quickly doodle something so that I can share it with the AI, and I can show it what exactly I mean. So pick square. And build like a phone. Give it, add a border, and remove the fill. Border thickness a little bit. Border style a little different. Thick. Okay. And take this guy. So I know you cannot see my doodling, but I'm doing it on my iPad, and once I'm done, I'm gonna share it with the AI. So do that. And I'll get a different fill color. Like green. Okay, duplicate it. A little smaller. This, change its color to green. Okay, and add some text now. Okay, so alright, so I doodle something, and let me quickly save it with some name. Roll up. Save it. And it should appear in my free form. So this one. Okay, so this is some sort of an idea that I have for my app, and I'm going to export this thing. Export it. Let's share. App, how to export this one? Yeah, export board as PDF. And let me export it here, so I can attach. I hope it will be able to see the PDF. I don't know, let's try. I'm gonna send it the PDF file as it is, and let me see if it is able to see the PDF and identify what I'm trying to tell it. I have attached a PDF file with the kind of UI I am planning for the screen. Please review it and make changes accordingly. Okay. So I don't know. Images it can process, but I don't know if it can process PDF files too. Thank you for Okay, it is actually removing the app, removing the map, but in my design I could not have added the map, so that is completely messed up. But anyways, what I'm thinking is let it do the thing that it's doing, and then I'll later ask it to add the map as well there, because I still need the map. So let me see what it has got. And I was just telling I need to plan my git now, otherwise. But the good thing in Cline is that I can move to the last checkpoint of the code changes, so there is no danger of losing something. So this restore button, I can always go to this last checkpoint. Let me see. So it is messing it up. The source was supposed to go behind and destination was supposed to come on top of it, and that's not happening. Okay, so after I entered the source, you have removed the search icon to. Okay, I'm thinking one thing, it's better to restore to that point, because I really need to and let's see if we have restored our app to how it was earlier, to the state that it was earlier, because I need map there. The map functionality was working flawlessly, so that was not a problem. Yeah, so this feature, right, selecting a map, I mean entering the location, selecting the location, that feature is still needed, so I don't want to lose that one. So I'm gonna tell it one thing, is that do the ordering of source layer and source and destination layer in this way. However, keep the maps rendering in both the layers with 2 instances, one for source and one for destination. And just before I do that, I really want to commit all my code so that I don't lose anything. And let's say show commit. Okay, these are all slides. Node modules. So we need to add a git ignore for node modules. We don't have a git ignore node modules. That's great. So initial commit, there are no sorry, I did not stage the changes. I need to stage them. Okay, so now my code changes are safe, and so okay, I've got one chat now. Let me quickly answer that. INK says, yesterday there was a problem, have you fixed it? So INK, are you talking about yesterday's that WhatsApp trigger problem? So let me tell you, yesterday I was building an A10 workflow, right? It was a different automation workshop today we are doing vibe coding. It is my moonlighting session, so I'm sorry for the confusion, but it's sort of, I'm doing it alternate days. Alternate days I'm doing automation workshops, and alternate days I'm doing this moonlighting session for vibe coding for building apps, right? So this yesterday's N8N thing will pick up tomorrow again, right? So tomorrow we'll work on these N8N workflow again. Another automation workshop will be there where we'll build N8N workflow. So we'll fix the old workflow if the template is available for us to use, or we'll build a new workflow. Okay, I hope it makes sense. So with that, okay, so this is this. Let's see this time how it will interpret it, because last time it completely missed it. Okay, and INK is still saying hello, so I say INK hello, I read your message. Do you have anything more to say? Okay, so thank you. I see the design you're aiming for. It's a clean layered look that's much more visually appealing. I'll reorder the layer in the stack to match the design. The destination layer will be at the bottom and the source layer will be on top. Separate map instances I'll create to update animation on the UI. Okay, so I know I'm trying to build it a little bit complex kind of a thing, but since it's vibe coding, I don't have to do much effort, and UI is doing all the things. So I don't want to leave any stone unturned, and I want to really push it to really get my app the way I want it to look. I mean, at least to some extent. I'm not telling that each and every pixel I want in certain way. Okay, so this is a bit better, but it has missed on some contrast here. Okay, Aniket says see you tomorrow. Okay, Aniket, see you tomorrow. I mean, yeah, it was great that you joined, and I hope tomorrow you'll get what you're looking for in your tomorrow session. Okay, so yeah, wait, I will wait for you tomorrow. Okay, man. So So this is one issue which I'm seeing. I'm finding it a bit difficult for Gemini to actually catch my intention behind the kind of UI I want to go for this app. So I hope to explain it to my my viewers once. And so basically, so this is the kind of a UI I'm trying to aim for. What I'm thinking is, so we have this source, which is a layer, and then first the source layer appears, you enter, we have a search bar, we enter the search location, right, and after that sort of goes behind, and then we get a destination layer appearing with the search bar. We enter the destination location there, and then we have like some sort of a generate icon or button at the center, which I missed, so that's okay, or at the bottom, right? So this kind of a UI I'm trying to get it out from our Gemini 2.5 Pro using vibe coding, right, within this Flutter app, and I'm finding it difficult to do it. So let me still keep trying, let's see if we can discover certain way to do it in a better way. So let me keep trying to push Gemini to get it done in that way. I see you are displaying the destination layer below the source. However, they both don't have any overlap, and the source is getting cut. Which is not okay. Nice. Okay, let me try to take the screenshot of this app and share it with Gemini. I think I can do that also. But where did it got stored? I don't know. So, let's see. This one. Yeah. Okay, so let me try to see the attached screenshot of the resulting Flutter app. It needs to be more better looking, like the title is not visible at all due to contrast issue, and there should be some sort of border or outline around the map layers which contains the location input within it. Okay, so again, I'm trying to give feedback to the AI and trying to get the output in a certain way which I want to get. Thank you for the screenshot and detailed feedback. You're right, the content has some visual flaws. I like this positioning animation, improve the visibility, add borders, refine layout. Okay, so it's again telling a lot of things, and let's see what is the result that we get. Oh, and we got some error now. We've got some rendering error. Error. The following session was thrown during perform layout. Okay, let me capture this much stack trace and share it. I'm getting this error while running the app. So one thing is for sure, vibe coding for web-based app, Next.js app, React.js app is much easier than vibe coding the Flutter apps, particularly like for Android. It's like an art in its own self, like what you need to do, what you need to not do, and how you need to do, right? So it's kind of a good learning experience for me, because I have built fair amount of apps, but I wanted to build more apps, like more mobile apps I wanted to build. And so far I have not been able to get time to build a lot of apps. I built more Swift UI apps than Android apps. but with the help of Flutter, I'm trying to build more Android apps as well. And I'm hoping that using vibe coding, we will be able to do that. Is it running in a loop? What the hell? It looks like it's in a loop. Expected to find. Okay. So the token count is not so high yet. It has sort of lost the track of it. So padding. Just this one. Is the child. Okay, there's this single child view. And just this. Here's the container. And yeah, this animated position. So this is missing. So sometimes we have to get into the code and try to fix the errors, especially because AI sometimes misses on these kind of things. I have manually fixed the parentheses issue. Proceed. Shit. It has resetted it. Okay. I think we are good to test it again. Okay, so that syntax error is resolved, and let's see what we get. So by the way, we have almost reached to the closing of this stream. It's almost going to be 12 a.m. So we'll close the stream at 12 a.m. and we hope to see something better than before. The destination is not appearing at all. Okay, so let's do one thing. We have to close our stream at this point, and so I knew the sort of a UI that I'm trying to achieve So one thing I've observed with vibe coding is you have to be really in the vibes, and you cannot, like, strictly steer the project in the way you want quite precisely. So here, like, I have sort of this idea in my head that I want the app to be in this way, but this is not how the good way of doing the vibe coding is, because LLM needs to have the maximum control that it can. Of course, you can ask it to, fix small issues here and there, but the overall, the larger picture, LLM has to manage and take care. Otherwise, these kind of issues happen that we struggle to get something up. So for the next stream of the same app, what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely discard my idea, and I'm going to tell, okay, Gemini, you decide how you want it to make it look, but make sure that it looks modern, it looks a good quality app, which will be like user friendly to use, and so on, right? So that is sort of the change in strategy that we are going to do for our next stream for this vibe coding app in our next moonlighting session, which will happen now next Monday. Okay, so if you're curious about what's gonna happen in this app next, how we're gonna change the UI, what more modifications we are going to do in this app, so please tune in next Monday again for my next moonlighting session for vibe coding, for building these apps, right? This Flutter app. Okay. So till that time, I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope you learned something from it, and see you. Take care. Bye bye.